y'all, and welcome to episode 44 of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. My name is Kay, and this is my podcast all about my knitting adventures here in Havelock, North Carolina, where I currently live with my husband, our 2 sons, and our 2 dogs. And today is April 24th, so welcome to episode 44. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're a new viewer, thank you for checking out the podcast. I hope that you enjoy it. If you do, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I'm so happy to be able to spend a little bit of time with you guys this morning. So I've just been sitting here this morning. I wrote up show notes and I've been enjoying my coffee and looking at houses on Realtor.com. Seems like that's all I have gotten done lately is look at houses. If you're new to the podcast, I've talked about it on previous episodes. We are gearing up for a move cross country to Phoenix, Arizona. The boys and I will probably fly out June 1st. So we are hunting for a house. It's been pretty crazy, and we'll talk about that more later in chatter in case some of you are not interested in our house hunting. I don't even know what the word would be for it because it's just been crazy. Completely crazy. So we'll talk about that more later, but I've been looking at houses this morning to see any new ones that popped up or any that we might be interested in because our realtor is going out today to look at a couple more houses for us. So keep your fingers crossed, guys. Like I said, we'll talk more about it in chatter later, but things have not been going very well on the house hunting front. But now knitting, because that's what you guys are really here for. Not to hear about house hunting problems, you're here about knitting. So first, let me say that you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as The Crazy Sock Lady. And we do have a podcast group on Ravelry. If you just search in the groups tab for Crazy Sock Lady Podcast, you're going to find it there. That's where any knit-alongs, giveaways, show notes, swapple swaps, anything and everything, you're going to find it over there. There's a coupon codes thread if you're a maker and want to offer a coupon code. Or if you want to go hunting for one to do some shopping. There's a questions and answers thread, all kinds of stuff over there. If you look down below in the down bar here on YouTube, you're going to find links to everywhere that you can find me, as well as the Ravelry group. And there's also timestamps for this episode if you want to skip ahead to your favorite part of the podcast. So first, we're going to talk about the Ravelry group. And I wanted to show you guys, I received another Swapple Swap in the mail. So these are put on by Lisa of Happy Scrappy Life. She puts these on in our group, and it's a different yarn dyer every month. And this is what you receive. This was the latest one. The yarn dyer was Show Me Yarn. And I'm going to take out my favorite ones here in a minute to show you. But this is the bag that you're going to receive if you sign up for one of our Swapple Swaps through the Ravelry group. And the prices range from $35 to $45 depending on where it is shipping to. It depends on the location it's going to. And you get 10 40-yard minis. So this one was Show Me Yarn, and I really want to show you guys. I'm going to have to dump them all out in my lap to get to them because they're on the bottom. I completely fell in love with a few of these. And it's strange thinking about the ones I fell in love with because they're not my typical colors that I would really lean towards, but I have found that some of my color choices have been shifting lately. I've been more drawn to pink, which is insane because I have never really been a fan of pink, but lately I have been more drawn to certain shades of pink. I should say that. But yes, these are my favorites out of that batch. So yeah, pink in all of them, and this one is probably my most favorite. It just seems very spring-like. So with this, you do receive, it has all of the information on the bag, on the label on the bag, as far as the yarn dyer and all of the colorway names. But they are not marked which colorway is what, which that doesn't bother me because what I do with these is I just make a magic knot ball out of the bag and add it to my Bits and Bobs blanket, which is a pattern by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. So it doesn't bother me that the colorways are not individual, the minis aren't individually labeled with the colorway names. And if I've always been interested in, okay, what was this one? You can go to the yarn dyer's website or their Instagram, or even send them a message and ask them. And I'm sure they would be so happy to answer your question if you're wondering what a specific colorway is. So that being said, we have 2 swapless swaps open in the group right now. We have, my notes are over here today, so that's why I'm glancing over that way. We have Polka Dot Creek, and there are 11 spots available in that one still, and it's due May 15th. That's when you have to sign up and have everything paid for by. There's Owl About Yarn. There are 23 spots available in that one, and it is due June 15th. So if you're interested in signing up for one of those, head over, check out the Ravelry group. The thread has all of the information for when it's due, how much is due, when they will ship by, how to pay. Everything is in there. So head over and check that out if you would like some minis. So we have a make-along that is getting ready to come to a close at the end of this month. It ends April 30th, and this is the bag make-along that I am co-hosting with Amber from Maker's Haven podcast. So for this, you just had to knit or crochet a bag and enter the prizes into my Ravelry group if you would like to win prizes from me. And you can, of course, double dip and then enter to win prizes from Amber as well. And she is doing a drawing on Instagram. So just be sure that if you want to be entered to win the prizes from her, you use the hashtag #BagMakeAlong on Instagram. Then we have 2 year-long knit-alongs going on. We have the Sock Crazy Cow for 2018, and this is any socks that you knit throughout the year. Baby socks do not count for this, but any other socks are eligible to be entered. And then we also have the Crazy Sock Lady Designs Make-Along, and this is any of my patterns that you use, knit or crochet. You can enter those into the Finished Objects thread. And for the year-long knit-alongs, we do prize drawings every 3 months. And that is all that we have going on right now for knit-alongs and make-alongs. 2 year-long ones, and then the bag make-along, which is coming to a close. So I've been debating, do we want to start a new knit-along? Do I want to wait until after the move and until we're into a house, hopefully, and get settled, and then try to start a new knit-along? So I'm not really sure. I think I'm going to leave it right now unless I feel inspired by something, or if you guys have any ideas for a knit-along that you would like for me to host, let me know in the comments below. And I don't know, we'll see where the wind blows us with that. And I did want to mention before we jump into finished objects that there is now a logo for the podcast. I was so excited when Tiffany reached out to me and offered to do a logo for the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. It turned out amazing. So much more than I ever could have imagined that it would be. I love it so much. I'm going to pop some pictures in here or somewhere of the couple of things that she did. And I've got them up all over the various social medias. You've probably already seen them. And then I had some pins made, not enamel pins, because not yet, maybe in the future, but probably after we move. That's not something, I did some research on them, and that's not something I'm ready to jump into until we're settled and I really have the time and the brain space to do it. So maybe in the future there will be an enamel pin, because I had quite a few people ask, and it's something I would love to do, but just not right now, not at this moment. But I did have some, just the basic little pins made to take to Maryland Sheep and Wool, and then also to take to Rhinebeck later on. So if you see me at Maryland Sheep and Wool or Needles Up at Maryland, come up, say hi. I'll give you a pin if you would like one. If not, that's totally fine. But yeah, I can't wait to get the pins, and then I will show you guys those, because the logo is just so cute. She did such an amazing job capturing just exactly what I had in mind. It's perfect. So thank you so much again, Tiffany, for doing that, and I hope that you guys like it. I've had a lot of good feedback on the logo. So for finished objects and works in progress, Chloe's coming to say hello, apparently. Can you guys see her nose? I think you can. I don't know what she's, oh, nope. I know what she's doing. She likes coffee, especially if there's creamer in it. And now she's shaking the whole thing. Hopefully it's not getting ready to storm. Okay, she's gone. We're good. Now Gracie's over here, but Gracie is not big enough to knock everything over. Chloe's laid down. Hopefully it's not getting ready to storm. I don't think it's supposed to storm until later tonight. It's raining, of course, because isn't that how like every podcast, like the past 5 months has been? Every time I go to record, it's raining. But hopefully it's not getting ready to storm, because she's acting a little crazy. but she's laid down for the moment. So fingers crossed, we're good. But as I was saying, finished objects, works in progress, everything that I show has a projects page on Ravelry with information like needles, yarn, any notes if there's changes I've made. If I forget to include something on the projects page, just send me a message and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. But there are links down below to those projects pages to check if you guys have any questions. So finished objects, I have a couple to show you. First, I'm going to show you the latest pair of socks for Wyatt. These were a work in progress last week, and they are a little stretched out at the moment because he has worn them. But when I was doing laundry today, I was like, oh, let me show those in the podcast real quick before I throw them in. So I finished Wyatt's dark side socks. This is Knit Picks Felici in the dark side colorway. And I did these on a US 1 2.25 millimeter. 56 stitches is what I always cast on for his socks. As you can see, they are a little bit stretched out where he wore them, but they turned out so cute and they matched almost perfect. There's just a little bit of purple on one toe and no purple on the other, but they turned out so good. And he loves them, of course, because he is so knit worthy. So those are done. And I've actually started another pair for him because I love working on his socks first thing in the morning when I sit down and have a bit of time before I get the kids up. They go so quickly because his little tiny feet, he's 8, if you're a new viewer, he's 8, so his feet are still pretty small. So they go pretty quickly. So I love working on his socks in the morning. So I've already started another pair. Now my next finished object is the bag that I made for the bag make-along. Get the drawstring pulled up here. Probably should have put something in it so that you guys could really see what it looked like, but I didn't. So here is the little drawstring bag that I made. So this pattern is called Sock Star, and I'll put who it's by down here, and everything will be in the show notes below. And for this I used yarn that is a cotton blend from Amber of Maker's Haven. And I don't think this is something that she currently offers in her shop, but I thought it was just the perfect yarn to use for this project. So for this I used a US 2 and a US 1.5 needles. And the pattern had an option for 2 separate pockets. I only did one of those pockets. I did the afterthought pocket on the back of the bag. You can see it there on the inside. You just knit and then Kitchener everything together. And then it's got 2 handles, your drawstring. These are all done, these are I-cords. You've got a casing for the drawstring. It was just a really cute bag. The construction wasn't hard. The pattern isn't, I will say this because I've had a couple people mention that they want to get the pattern or that they've gotten the pattern. It's not a very detailed pattern. I would say, I mean, it's not that it was necessarily hard, but it was only a couple pages long for this, and the pattern was not detailed at all. That doesn't mean it's a bad pattern. It just means that they don't walk you through every single tiny little thing. You kind of have to just do it. If that makes any sense. I'm so bad at explaining stuff like that, but I didn't feel that it was as detailed as maybe it could have been to make it more beginner friendly. But it definitely was not hard. A little time consuming, especially once I got to the end, because I thought, I was like right here. And I thought, oh, I'm so close, I'm almost done. But then I kind of looked ahead and I was like, no, you're not. You still have 3 I-cords to do. Pockets if you want to do those. I wasn't as close as I thought. The other pocket that it had would have went wherever you wanted on the inside, but it was like an envelope style that I think closed with a button. It looked like a tiny little envelope that you could have put like stitch markers or something in, but I chose not to do that, partly just because I was done. I was done. And I thought that's going to be really fiddly and I don't feel like dealing with it. So this is the bag, and I originally thought this would be great for like a sock project, which it totally would. If you want to knit this, a sock project would fit perfectly in here. It would definitely hold like 1 cake of yarn and your needles, some notions. But my niece Lily, my Cassie, my sister Cassie is always sending me Snapchats and little things of Lily, and she's always in some kind of a princess dress, whether it's like a Minnie Mouse princess dress or something like that. And you know those little plastic, like the heels are only like this, like they're tiny little plastic high heel dress up shoes for little girls. She's always in those. So she like walks around with her cute little attitude and her princess dress and her dress up shoes. She's adorable, and I thought this would be perfect for a Christmas gift or even a birthday gift. Her birthday's in August, so I'm not sure which one I'll do, but maybe I'll make a little stuffed animal or maybe something to go inside of it, or get her like some little play, like plastic makeup things, like the play stuff. I don't know, something to put down inside of her little purse and give that to her for her birthday or Christmas. I thought that would be perfect. So it is went in the gift tote that I have started over there that I'm putting stuff in. So that is where that is going to head off to. And this bag, funny thing, if you watched on Instagram and you follow Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarn, you probably saw it there, and you probably saw my post about me mentioning it. Tristan challenged me to finish a whip. She had finished a whip and she posted a video and challenged me to finish a work in progress, which is perfect. Tristan knows that I have like cast-on-itis like a crazy person, and all I want to do is cast on new things, and I'm not finishing. I mean, I finished some things. Obviously, I finished the bag, which was totally Tristan's. Like, I have her to thank for finishing that. I finished Wyatt's socks. I finished the next thing I'm going to show you, but I still have so many whips, and I keep saying I want to have them done by the time I move. Guys, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. But anyways, Tristan challenged me to finish that, so that's why the bag got done. So thank you, Tristan. You totally, yeah, you're the reason the bag is finished. Last finished object is a new design that I have put out since the last episode, and I showed you guys this on the last episode as a work in progress. So I finished the Gypsy Soul socks, and here's one on a blocker. So this pattern is out on Ravelry now. The yarn that I used is Yoshi and Lucy, and that is my Jam colorway. Lovely purple that I don't think is showing very accurate because, of course, it's a dreary, rainy day. But I want to show you one off the blocker so that you can see the front again. I know you kind of saw it last time a little. There is the front of the sock. It does have some lace going down the front, and then these little things kind of look like cables, but they are not. They are kind of a faux cable, a little bit of a twist, and I really love, like, this is my favorite sock pattern that I have done for sure. And guys, don't be intimidated by this little bit of lace. So simple to do, nothing at all difficult about it. Like I said, these are not real cables down the sides, so you're not actually cabling, it's just a little bit of a twist. You don't need a cable needle or anything like that. So yes, this is up on Ravelry now. Gypsy Soul is the name that I went with. And I want to say thank you so much to everybody. I had asked last episode for names because I was so stuck on this one for some reason, and I had so many great suggestions. I actually have them on a list over here in my show notes book so that if I get stuck next time, I can kind of go back to some of those names because some of them were so amazing and kind of sparked new design ideas too with some of the names. So thank you guys so much for all of the suggestions that you gave me. And I had finished some dishcloths since the last episode, but I've shipped them out. But I did want to give you guys a count because I am doing the Yarn Hoarder Dishcloth Challenge for this year where you try to knit at least one dishcloth a week. And I have knit 30 so far this year. I've gifted 20 of them already. Yeah. So I have 10 in the gift tote over there that will be set aside for Christmas gifts, and then some for myself as well. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that so far. I don't have any of the ones here to show you that I finished in the past 2 weeks because those were the ones, some of the ones that were gifted. So those got shipped out last week. Now let's talk about works in progress. So the first work in progress I'm going to show you is in a bag from Daisy Girl and Company. And I love her bags. I actually have another one. This one I picked up at my local yarn store, the Salty Sheep in Swansboro, North Carolina. But I love her bags. So in here I have something I just cast on yesterday. So for this I'm using Knit Picks Felici in Cheshire Grin colorway. And it's a pair of socks that will go into the gift box. I already know who they're going to, what they're going to be gifted for, but I'm not going to say just yet because I'm not sure if she ever watches and I don't want to ruin the surprise. So when I gift them, I will tell you guys. Here are the socks that I'm working on. I started this yesterday afternoon. The pattern that I'm doing for this is my Rhinebeck Roomies pattern. Not sure how well you can see it. And I love the texture on this pattern. It's a super simple 4-row pattern repeat. So easy to do, kind of gives a ribbed textured look to it. I really enjoy knitting this one. I love the fit of socks with this pattern on it. It's definitely one of my favorites. And I love how it looks with self-striping. I just think it looks really nice. So I'm doing this on my Knit Pro Zings. And I really enjoy these needles. I have a couple of the sets of the DPNs now and a couple of the fixed circulars, and I just want to buy all of them in every size because they're my new favorite at the moment. I'm hoping I'll be able to find some somewhere at Maryland Sheep and Wool because I would love to buy an interchangeable set of them. If you have not tried the Zings, I would definitely recommend it. The price is great. So even if you just buy one circular or a set of DPNs and try it and you're not that crazy about it, the price is so good. Such a good price point, and the quality, like, it blows my mind that they are as cheap as they are. So yes, I would definitely recommend the Knit Pro or Knitter's Pride Zings. Oh, and on here, I haven't shown this on here yet because I keep forgetting. But this is a progress keeper from the Gnome Knitter. And I had her custom make some of these for my Friday knit group as kind of a going away gift. And then I couldn't wait until it got closer to when I leave. So they got them like beginning of April, end of last month. I can't remember exactly when I gave them to them. But every Friday at our knitting group, we meet at it's called the Kitchen Table. It's a little cafe here in Havelock, North Carolina. And she makes the best hash brown casserole. Oh my gosh, it is delicious. So we started getting just hash brown casserole and bacon and sometimes toast. So I sent Joanna of the Gnome Knitter a picture of our knitter special. That's what they started calling it at the restaurant. And asked her if she could custom make some of these as a going away gift. So this is what she came up with, and it is perfect. So there's the hash brown casserole and the bacon. So cute. So I was so excited to give these to the ladies. I couldn't wait because I was originally like, I'll wait until maybe my last Friday. No, I couldn't wait. They had to have them. So that's what's hanging out on my sock here. So I know there are so many more sock knit-alongs than I know about right now, I'm sure. So if you know of any, put them down below, put them in the show notes on Ravelry, something. But this I have 4 knit-alongs that you can enter socks into right now for. So if you do a pattern sock, you can enter them into Sue and Chelsea's Fancy Feet knit-along. Then Girls in the Yarn Cafe, Tristan and Christy are doing, I wrote down the exact name of it. Where did I write it down? Summer Sock Along, Knit Along. So you could enter them over there. I have the Sock Crazy Cow going on, the year-long knit-along, so you could enter them into there. And then if you did one of my patterns, which you certainly don't have to, but if you did one of my sock patterns, you could also enter it into the Crazy Sock Lady Designs knit along. So that's 4 knit alongs that you could enter a pair of socks into. That's exciting because I'm somebody that I get so excited when I'm doing a project that I can enter into multiple knit alongs. I just find that so thrilling for some reason. So yes, there's 4 knit alongs that you could enter a pair of socks into. So that I just started yesterday, and I need to have it done next month. I can't remember the exact date, but I need to have it done next month. So those will kind of take a little bit of a priority, but the combination of loving that colorway of Knit Picks Fleecy, loving the zings, loving how that textured pattern works up and how simple it is, I don't think it'll take me long to get them done at all. They're one that I think I'm going to fly through. And I don't know if I said I'm doing those on the zings US 1 2.25 millimeter, and I cast on 64 stitches for those. Next whip that I'm going to show you is the new pair of socks that I started for Wyatt. I'm using another Knit Picks Fleecy colorway. I had him go into the hutch and I kind of pulled out just the different types of yarns that he could choose from because his socks only take 50 grams. So I've really been enjoying doing them out of Knit Picks because, well, they take a little less than 50 grams. They don't take the full 50 grams. But anyways, I've been enjoying doing them out of the Knit Picks Fleecy because they're 50-gram balls, so I'm only using one. So this one is out of Knit Picks Fleecy in the Spaceman colorway. And here's what that looks like. Some grays with some tan in there. And I'm not too far. I mean, I guess if you look at it, is the fact that I'm doing the gusset decreases, I kind of am. That's where I'm at on his. I've put in a slip stitch heel flap, done the heel turn, and I'm decreasing gusset stitches at the moment. Cute tiny little sock, and he likes shorties, so they go so quickly. So same thing as I did for his dark side socks. I cast on 56 stitches on a US 1 2.25 millimeter needle, and these are on my Chowgu red lace, which is one of my favorite to use for magic loop or anything really. I love the cable on these. So that's that. So just one sock going so far. And I have this in a bag from Bag She Built. This is just the bag that I seem to always have his socks in. I don't know why. It's a smaller bag, so everything fits in there perfectly. This is just what his socks are always in, from Tracy of Bags She Built. Like obsessively checking my phone when I see a message pop up. I have a lot of that to edit out today. I just keep obsessively checking it because this house hunting stuff, it's a little crazy. Little crazy. Okay, but last work in progress that I'm going to show you today is my Impressionist Mystery Knit Along. This is a mystery knit along by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. And I'll show you the bag first. So this is a bag from Twist Fiber Studio. And I showed you the yarns last week, the names. The yarn I'm using is from Spun Right Round. And I picked this up at India Untangled last year. And the colorway names, I have them all wrote down here. I'm going to show you guys what I did here too. But let me show you the colors first. So we've got the Big Teal Wave, In the Pines, and Kathmandu. Those are the 3 colors that I'm using, and this is on their singles base, which is 100% superwash merino. And what I like to do when I have, like I did this for the Starting Point mystery knit along. When I'm doing a mystery knit along or something that has different colors and I need to remember like A, B, C or something like that, I keep all of my patterns in these page protectors and I label them and just tape a little bit. This is usually, I use the bits when you wind your cake, how they have the little things that are tying it together that you have to snip. That's usually what I'll just tape right in here and then label it ABC and put the colorway name. Just that way I don't forget. I don't know. That's just something silly I do, and I keep everything in page protectors. So I've got all my clues in here. And I have 10 more rows left. The last clue is out. Clue 4 is out. I have 10 more rows left and then the bind off. That's it. I did work on it a little bit over the weekend. The last clue came out this past Saturday, so I worked on it a little bit on Saturday, but I haven't touched it then. But yeah, 10 more rows. It doesn't seem like that long, but the rows are so long. There are so many stitches. 500 and some, I think, the point I'm at. Stitches. That's insane. So I will get it done. It's nice at this point that I'm at the rows. I don't have to look at the pattern. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's kind of mindless knitting, which is great. So it will get done. I'll tell you when I'm going to hold it up so you can look away. So the needles I've been using for this are my Hiya Sharps, and it is a US 6 4mm. And I have my needle stoppers on here from Coco Knits. And I'm going to hold it up now. So if you don't want to see it, just look away and I'll tell you when to look back. I won't talk too much about the design. And it's so bunched up. I don't know what size cable this is. This is probably a 24-inch cable. I don't think it's a 32. I don't know. Maybe, no, I think it's a 24-inch cable. So it's really bunched up with 500 and some stitches. So you can't really even see it anyways, but I'll hold it up. So look away if you don't want to see. Which side is the right side? That side, where the marker is. Duh. So here's where I'm at. And mine does have more of a contrast. It's not, I don't know, some of them I've seen look kind of fade-ish in a way. Like the colors blend more together and mine are more of a contrast, which I'm totally fine with. I love it. Absolutely love it. Whoops. So there's that, and I put it down now, so if you didn't want to see, you can now look back. So I just need to sit down and just put a day's work maybe into this, and it'll be done. I don't think it'll take too long to finish it. Okay, so that's all for works in progress. Obviously, that's not the only works in progress that I have, but I just thought I would show you those 3 today, and couple new cast-ons, update you guys on the mystery knit along. Everything else, a couple of things like my April Desert Vista Dye Work socks, I did put maybe 20 or so rows in those yesterday. But yeah, nothing has gotten a major amount of work that I want to show you just yet. I did do a ton of work on a shawl design that I'm working on, my very first shawl design, but I'm not ready to show it just yet. Because I've changed that thing. I've taken it out like 5 different times. But yeah, that got a lot of work. I took it out a couple times since the last episode and restarted. And then this last time I restarted, it just hit me. Like I was kind of sitting on it and like, I don't think I'm really happy with it. Do I want to change this or that? Or what can I do to make that look better? And it just hit me one day. Boom, that's what I want to do. I ripped it out, I restarted it, and I'm so pleased with it now. So fingers crossed. I keep being pleased with it. I don't know why I was so intimidated with the shawl design. I don't know, because it's so big maybe. I've never designed anything that big, but I'm really pleased with where it's going at the moment. So you guys will see that eventually, but that's what took up a good chunk of knitting time lately. Now is when we would normally show some mail, but I've already shown you my Swapple Swap minis. I did receive 2 skeins of Desert Vista Dye Works in the mail, but I've already put those up, and you guys will see them this year because they're for the year-long knit-along that I'm doing. They were the last 2 that I needed to get me through the year because I'm planning to do 1 pair of scrappy socks. With that knit-along, you have to use her yarn all throughout the year to make socks, and you're allowed 1 pair of scrappy socks. So I have enough to get me through 11 months, and then I'll have 1 pair of scrappy socks. That's the plan. Anyways, But so I'll show you guys those as I knit them up. I've already put them up and I didn't think about them until just now, but that is all I've ordered and received. I've been pretty good lately with Maryland coming up. I have so much I want to look for at Maryland. I have a list and I'm just trying to be prepared and be more mindful of what I'm buying. I think as I start to kind of think about packing up my stash for the move, I'm thinking I need to do more shopping from my stash. I'm not going to put myself on a restrictive yarn diet or anything like that. If there's something that I want for a project or something I'm like, I can't live without, and I can get it, I will get it. So no yarn diets, because that just is like asking for failure, I think. But what I'm going to do is shop from my stash. So if I have a project in mind, I'm first going to go to my stash. Is there anything in here that I would love to use for that project, that will work for that project? That I'll be happy with for that project. If so, I'm going to go with stash first. If not, then I will allow myself to shop for it. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But first I want to show you guys, before we get into chatter, a bag that my friend Kathy made me and gave to me at knitting this past Friday. Look how cute this project bag is. This is Crazy Sock Lady. And is perfect. Perfect for our move. This is going to be one of my travel knitting bags for the move. I love it. So she gave this to me last Friday and I was so excited about it. It's perfect. And now that I've shown it, I'm going to put a project in it. So that is it for mail. Questions and answers. We had a couple questions in the group, but I went ahead and answered those in the thread. So now really it's just a little bit of chatter. So if you're not sticking around, thank you so much for joining me today. If you are sticking around, things have just been kind of crazy. So Eric's home from his trip to Arizona. He got home Saturday, late afternoon, early evening. Great to have him home. So excited that he's finally home. I tell you what, all the traveling that he's been doing to Arizona and back, kind of exhausting. So I'm glad he's home. He's supposed to go out for a house hunting trip next month, but the way house hunting is going, we'll see how it works out. He may not even end up doing the house hunting trip. So yeah, that's really him coming home and house hunting. That's been life recently. That's been life. And house hunting, I don't ever want to move again. Let's just say that. Ever. Ever. The market out there, because for one, I've talked before, I believe I talked before about how we are struggling to find a place that allows Chloe, our German Shepherd, because they have an aggressive breed list, which a lot of places do. We've rented a lot, and a lot of them have a list of breeds that are not allowed. They call it their aggressive breed list. But when we moved here, Chloe was not on. Their German Shepherds weren't on that list for this rental property. So we had zero issues with the house that we are renting right now. Rentals out there, there are only a couple property management companies that allow German Shepherds. So our options for renting are very limited. Very limited. While Eric was out in Arizona, we thought we had a house that we could rent, paid the application fee, put in the application. Then they came back and said the tenants are not sure if they're moving out. We'll let you know. But there is this other property that you could put your application towards. So we're like, okay, we like the other property as well. If they don't move out, yes, we will put our application towards that. Then they came back and said the tenants are moving out, so we will start processing your application for this house. A week later, after a week of them processing the application, they said the application's been approved. You guys are good to rent a house from us, but the tenants are not moving out. That doesn't seem fair to me. And then by that time, the other property's gone. Yeah. So that didn't work. I don't know. That was just a total mess. And we were kind of frustrated with the entire situation, really. And then the fact that it felt like we wasted an entire week when we could have been looking for other houses. But we thought, you know, we've got that house. I don't think that they should allow people to change their mind that much. No takebacks, right? No takebacks. Oh, yeah. So that was kind of frustrating. So we've opened our options up to buying as well. So we are now looking at rental properties and properties that are for sale, which is a whole other ball game. So we've had a realtor out there looking at some, and we did a FaceTime viewing of a house over the weekend. Guys, it's just been insane. You have to move very quickly with the houses out there. They go up for rent or for sale, and they are gone within 24 hours. Rented out or under contract within 24 hours. It is madness, total madness. So we have our realtor going today to look at 2 more. She's looked at 2 already for us. We did a FaceTime walkthrough with her for one of them, and we actually put an offer in on that house, but it did not get accepted, and we think we got outbid, basically. So that's the right word, outbid. I think someone offered over asking, I think is what happened, but we're pretty sure that's what happened. But yeah, so it's been kind of crazy. Like I said, she's going to look at 2 more today, so fingers crossed that one of them is a contender. I know it'll all work out the way that it's supposed to, and we have time. We don't leave. The boys and I fly out June 1st, and then his company pays for us to stay in like an extended stay hotel for up to 30 days. So we still have time to look for a house. You know, it's not like we're leaving next week or something. We still have time. I know it will work out how it's supposed to. I just keep reminding myself of that when these houses don't work out, because I am awful at, I find a house that I like, and I just imagine like, where can I put all the furniture and how I can decorate it, and then you don't get it. So I just keep trying to remind myself, if it doesn't work out, there's a reason it didn't work out. That is not the house you were supposed to have. It will work out the way it's supposed to. But yeah, that's just kind of been life lately, is house hunting. That is just taken over everything lately. That every conversation, everything, house hunting. That's it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll of course keep you guys updated. If you guys are even interested, if you stuck around and you listened to all of this about crazy house hunting, yeah. But that's pretty much all that's been going on. I did start listening to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone on Audible. I downloaded the app. I've never even attempted audiobooks before. I wasn't sure that I would like them. But I started that book yesterday when I was working out. I had that playing while I was working out instead of music, and I loved it. I had it on this morning while I was doing some cleaning and getting ready and setting up to record this podcast, and I really enjoyed it. So I think that's something that I will continue to do. And that's why I've got my Gryffindor shirt on today, because I've just been in Harry Potter land while I've been listening to the audiobook yesterday and today. So I think that's it for today. That's definitely enough rambling about house hunting and all of the nonsense. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. And if you stuck around to the end, thank you for listening. And I will see you guys again in a couple of weeks. Oh, before I go though, if you're going to Maryland Sheep and Wool, Needles Up in Maryland, like I said, it's not this weekend, it's next weekend. Needles Up is May 4th. Maryland Sheep and Wool is the following Saturday, so May 5th and 6th, it's Saturday and Sunday. But anyways, I will be there Friday and Saturday. So if you're going to Needles Up or the Sheep and Wool Festival, let me know. I would love to see you guys. If you see me, come up, say hi. I would love to meet you. I will have the little pins. They should be here in time for that. So come up, say hi, get a pin if you would like one. And yeah, I'll see you guys again for a podcast. I'm thinking about vlogging the Maryland trip. Let me know down below in the comments if that's something that you would be interested in, a vlog of the Maryland trip, Needles Up, Sheep and Wool Festival. Let me know, and then I'll vlog it if you guys would be interested in seeing that. But I'll go ahead and say goodbye for today, and I'll see you again with a regular podcast episode in a couple of weeks. maybe my last one from North Carolina. Maybe I'll squeeze in a couple in May, but we'll see how crazy things get. But I'll talk to you guys in a couple of weeks. Happy knitting. Bye.